Welcome to Learning English with Poetry. Today we're looking at Psalm 23. Psalm is a word for song. This is from the Christian Bible. This is probably the most famous psalm, if not one of the most famous passages from that Christian Bible. The Bible is full of poems. There's 150 poems or songs. It's usually right in the middle of the book. Many, it's believed, were written by King David many, many thousands of years ago, and this is one of them. Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along the right paths for His name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for You are with me. Your rod and Your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely Your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. All right, let's look at some of these lines and these words to try to understand not only this poem, but a little more about English. So the first line, the Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. A shepherd is someone who takes care of sheep. Now, there are probably less shepherds nowadays than there were years ago, but this was a very important role. The shepherd was personally responsible for the health and the life of the sheep, often defending the sheep against bears or lions or wolves. So these sheep lack nothing. They don't need anything. The shepherd makes me lie down in green pastures. So what is a pasture? A pasture is a grazing field for animals. A green pasture is a field that there is food everywhere. The animals don't have to search for food. It is all around them. He leads me beside quiet waters. Why is quiet waters important? Well, noisy waters would mean it was moving very fast over rocks or falls. And quiet waters are easy to drink from. So there's plenty of food and plenty of water. He refreshes my soul. This means that this is more than just food and water. There is a certain re-energizing of my soul, a renewing of life within me. All right, moving on. He guides me along the right paths. So, right paths. Paths is usually a word that it can mean roads, but generally a path is not paved. It is not for cars or trucks. It's usually something you would walk along. Now here's a complicated line. For His name's sake. We don't usually talk about name's sake very much. The closest we have is kind of the word honor, or do it for your family's sake. Do it just not for what you get out of it, but for the value that it brings. So He guides me along the right paths because this is simply who this is, this good shepherd. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, valleys can be very dark because a valley is a place between mountains, and it is very difficult for the sun to shine into that valley, so it's very hard to see. Fearing no evil, no bad thing, for this shepherd is with me. All right, let's talk about rod and your staff. So a rod and a staff. Staff is a word that can mean all the people who work for you. If you're the leader of an organization, you might have a staff. But in this case, it means something else. It means like a long stick that a shepherd would use to guide the sheep where he wanted them to go. And these things comfort. Now we're going to move a little away from the shepherd imagery, but not too much. You prepare a table. To prepare a table does not mean to make the table itself, but prepare a table means to set out food and drink and make everything ready for a big meal. And that this person does this in the presence. In the presence means in the same room with enemies. So the enemies can see all the good things that are happening, that are being laid out. You anoint my head with oil. Now this is more of a blessing. This is not oil like you'd put in your car. This is a sweet smelling, a kind of a lotion almost. In those times they would put oil in their hair, and the cup overflows. So there's more in the cup than can even be contained. All right, moving on. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life. Now, this is a phrase, all the days of my life, simply means as long as I will continue living. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Now, this means this person's talking about the house of the Lord is both, it was a physical place, there was it's more complicated than I can go into right now, but there was a tabernacle, a place of worship. They were talking about, I will dwell, I will always be worshiping you, but it also means I will always be close to you, even after death. All right, let's read the poem again and see how much more you can understand. Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along the right paths for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Are you ready for the final challenge? I'm going to read the poem with just the pictures with no words, and see if you can understand everything that I say. Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along the right paths for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Thank you for joining us for Learning English with Poetry. I'm Adam Navis. If you'd like to learn more, please subscribe to this channel. Check out practicalenglishlearning.com.